If the sight of that little red recording light makes you self-conscious, you are far from alone. But there are tricks to looking your most polished on camera. And today, I'm going to share some insider tips with you. Hey there, thanks for clicking on this video. If you are new to my channel, I am so glad you're here. My name is Katie Fellinger. I spent 15 years working in the top markets of TV and radio, and I also have expertise in DIY video creation. So on this channel, I bridge the gap between the pro and the DIY side, and I help new video creators become production rock stars. So if that's something that interests you, consider subscribing for new content every Tuesday, and you can also ring the bell to get notified anytime a new video posts. So let's talk about some best practices to help you look your most polished on camera. Now, before we get into these tips, let me be clear. Your style is your style, but your image is also important. Your image is what sets a tone and a perception for your viewers, right? And whatever your reason for appearing on camera, whether you're trying to teach people, sell to them, or deliver a presentation, your image carries weight when it comes to making a connection with your audience. So we walk a bit of a line here, but you can absolutely present your most authentic self on camera and implement what I'm about to teach you. And there are universal tips for production purposes that work across any and all looks, okay? Let's get into them. Tip number 1, show up as yourself and wear what makes you comfortable. The last thing you want is to feel like your pants are too tight or worry about a potential wardrobe malfunction, right? Now, I'm not saying that means you show up in your sweats and slippers, but consider the message you're delivering, how you want to be perceived, and what that perception would look like, okay? Maybe that's business casual. Maybe it's slightly formal. Maybe it's 100% casual, like all jeans and tees all the time. But whatever it is, make sure it's something you'd actually wear and be comfortable in. You'll feel so much more relaxed if you present an attire that makes you feel like yourself. Tip number 2 continues the wardrobe theme, and that's to, generally speaking, stick to solid colors. They just read really well on camera, but also if you go with patterns that are overly loud, that becomes distracting for your audience. You want to look good without losing people's attention, so simple, minimal, subtle patterns typically work. That said, I've been known to break out a leopard print on camera before, so I'll reiterate, this is a personal preference thing, but certainly something to consider before you commit to a wild and vivid pattern. Now, I've got one last wardrobe tip for you. Tip number 3 is to rig ill-fitting attire. If you are wearing a top or a dress or even a suit jacket that looks baggy on camera and you want to look slimmer, you can just take a clip or a hair tie and cinch it in the back to hug your body a little bit more. This will flatter your silhouette and you'll automatically look slimmer. And let me just throw in an added side note, clothes that are less baggy will usually work best on camera if you want that sleeker frame, because trust me, even if you have the slimmest body type, really loose fitting clothes will create a potato sack effect and give the illusion of a shape that you don't actually have. I have had this happen to me so many times where something looks stunning in the mirror, but it does not work on camera, okay? So how are we doing? If you are liking these tips so far, let me know in the comments. And I know that it's been very wardrobe heavy up to this point, but your attire is one of those things that really impacts your on-camera confidence. So it is an important thing to consider and discuss. But let's go ahead and switch gears. For tip number 4, I want to talk hair. Again, your style is your own, and I am not going to tell you how to do your own hair, but there are certain things to keep in mind from a production standpoint that will affect your hair. So tip number 4 is to mind the elements and their impact. I'm talking both natural elements and production elements. The number 1 thing to consider is the weather. If you're shooting in a climate-controlled space like I am, then no worries. But anything outside, keep Mother Nature in mind. Humidity will cause frizz. Obviously, any kind of precipitation will have an impact. Wind will distract you and your audience if it's blowing your hair in your face or all over the place. My tip there is to make sure that you face the wind so that your hair blows off your back, but you want to check on those things. Look at the forecast before you go to shoot. And then consider your background and how the light may hit it. What I mean by that, I have light colored hair. So when I am against a dark background, any flyaways or random frizz shows up really obviously on camera. So if your backlighting or your background is on the opposite end of the color spectrum from your hair color, you'll want to take care to smooth it out. And finally, keep an eye out for shadows that your hair may be casting on your face. I actually run into this problem quite a bit because the part in my hair often sweeps across my forehead and it'll create this shadow across the right side of my face. So I will often cheat my face so that the light can sneak in there and help reduce that shadow. Now, tip number 5 is all about your makeup. We are back to personal preference here. You should go on camera feeling comfortable. If that means you don't wear makeup, then don't wear it. That said, if you want to even out your skin tone or cover up anything that you're self-conscious about, just a little makeup will go a long way. So you can go easy on the application, check how it looks on camera, and then apply more if necessary. Now me, I wear a full face of HD makeup for most of my videos, but I like wearing it, and you should absolutely adjust for your own comfort level. This goes back to authenticity and presenting yourself as the real you at your most comfortable. And finally, tip number 6, and that's just to test out your whole look on camera before you go into the full production. As I mentioned before, what looks amazing in person can look very different on video. Certain looks that I have tried have surprised me often enough that I have learned to check them out on camera before I commit to them. And this has gone both ways. Outfits or makeup or hairstyles that I thought would look amazing on camera were a total bust, and I've also been pleasantly surprised how flattering some turned out to be. So that'll do it for your physical aesthetics, and please hear me on this. Your look, your image is your own. And I want you to feel confident, comfortable, and authentic in how you present yourself. So these tips are suggestions that work, but in the end, you need to do what feels best and right for you. Cool? Cool. Friends, if you liked this video, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with someone who needs an on-camera confidence boost. And also let me know which of these tips you found most helpful. Now in my next video, we go from looking polished to feeling natural and comfortable on camera. So if being on camera doesn't come naturally to you, you can work at it, and I'm going to show you how next time. Until then, I have a great video showing you how to look your best on Zoom or any other video call, and I've linked that here and below in the description if you want to check that out. Now, looking and feeling your best on camera is merely one part of creating quality videos, right? And if you're just getting your feet wet in video creation, but you're not sure where to start, I want to invite you to check out my signature online course. It's called the Video Production Project, an all-inclusive masterclass that gives you a 360-degree walkthrough of how to create quality videos for your brand, your business, or your burgeoning creative outlet without the overwhelm, plus tools to equip you for success. And I also have some serious incentives for you when you sign up, like your own video equipment kit, to ongoing instruction and support as you start creating your own videos. You can see everything that is included, check out the pricing options, as well as enroll in the course at my website, videoproductionproject.com. I've also linked it below for you in the description. Now, in the meantime, feel free to hit me up on social. I am on all the platforms. I'm at Katie Falinger Official on Facebook and at Katie Falinger everywhere else. I always love hearing from you, and I would also be happy to answer any questions that you might have about the video production project too. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Hit that button, hit that like button. How are we doing? That means you show up in your sweats and saw that coming.